Hello, this is Blue Star, Defender of Equestria, and this is my next Focus On video. This time, the Super Villain Opaline. Cunning, deceptive, manipulative, and underestimate her at your own peril. But at the same time, she may be more than she appears. And also, her hooves apparently are made of flint because they spark when she gets mad, so... I love Opaline as a supervillain. This is my kind of supervillain. You know, cunning, deceptive, manipulative. It's like, yes, what is my next evil plan going to be? Kind of interesting that in Chapter 2, every single episode featured Opaline and Misty in some way, because she's always, you know, plotting and figuring out what her next move could be. A, because that's the kind of supervillain she is, and B, it's because there's only 8 episodes, so there's not a lot of opportunity to, you know what, we'll just sit out this episode. It's like, no, we have to keep moving Opaline's plot forward. Yes, all these things that Opaline is attempting to do are failing, but at the same time, I kind of like this. She's realizing, this isn't working, let's try something else. So she's avoiding the mistake that a lot of villains in children's television do, which is, let's just keep trying the same thing over and over and over again, and hope that maybe this time it works. They spent a couple episodes trying to get the magic lantern, but then at the end of, you know, who've done it, she's like, ugh, we're wasting time with these enchanted relics. Now let's get something that will instantly get my powers back. Dragon fire. It took a while, but she's tried this, she's tried that, it didn't work out, but it's led her to the thing that will actually get her what she wants. So, a lot of the supervillains have made the mistake of basically busting down the front door and trying to just simply invade and take over in a very obvious way, and she's avoiding that mistake. For example, in Candlelight Wedding, the changelings were forced to basically throw their changeling abilities and their cunningness and the deceptiveness to the winds and invade in a very direct, obvious way, and essentially busting down the front door, which shockingly didn't work too well. Opaline's powers may be compromised, but she still seems pretty formidable to me. If she tried to, like, just simply bust into the Crystal Bright House, I have a feeling that most of the ponies wouldn't be able to do much to stop her, so, yeah, the Crystal Bright House, it's just a house. But she doesn't know that. For all she knows, this is the state-of-the-art, you know, fortress with defense systems, alarms, and armed guards in every corner. If she just tries to bust in there, she'll get her butt kicked. So before she tries to do something like that, she sends in this magic mouse to go and, like, scout the area out and, like, find, oh, what's powering the Prisbeam? So I think that definitely shows that Opaline is definitely really good at, like, planning and plotting and, like, okay, what's the thing that's actually gonna get me what I want? Before she, like, fully commits to, like, a plan, she almost sort of wants to know, like, is that actually gonna succeed or not? Like, for example, the first time we see Misty, Opaline has sent her out to see if magic is truly back or not. And, oh, how is that magic working? One of the Nightmare Night episodes of Tell Your Tale, she sends Misty out solely to make the ponies use their magic, just so that Opaline can see how it works. So, unlike the previous supervillains like Tyrek, who literally busted down the front door, she's actually believes in, like, recon, in, like, okay, I want to know more about what I'm gonna do before I do it so that I don't just simply get my butt kicked. Some people may not think recon's important, but you know what? It's a good idea to know. Oh, is there like a battalion of tanks over that hill, or is it just a bunch of infantry? Because it kind of makes a difference. I really like that. That shows that Opaline is interested in, like, actual planning and plotting, and Opaline as a character is definitely very interesting. I mean, in some ways, we've kind of seen her before. I mean, the very first supervillain was an alicorn. In some ways, Nightmare Moon and Opaline are driven by the same basic thing of, I am an alicorn, I deserve to rule the whole of Equestria! I mean, that definitely is the thing that motivates Opaline. How did alicorns, like, become, like, rulers of Equestria? What role do they have? Where did they come from? Those things have sort of been touched upon, but not really. Like, if you read the Journal of the Two Sisters, it describes the alicorns, but it doesn't describe where the alicorns come from. Were they here in Equestria to begin with, or did they, like, come from some sort of outside land? So, Opaline's a version of the origins of like Equestria or equestrian magic is slightly different from the one that, you know, the main 5, and not to mention the main 6 from Friendship is Magic tell. And Opaline's version is suggesting that magic came from alicorns. And if that's true, I could understand her motivation of, all of this magic is mine, I deserve it because it came from us to begin with. So to see the other ponies use it is just like, yeah. In some cases, she gets really angry when she sees that the other ponies are using magic. Magic is back! Magic is back and those silly ponies have it! And I don't! I mean, there was an episode of Tell Your Tale where she sees the other ponies using magic and she's almost losing it. In the background, literally, she's going like green with envy. She's just so, you know, angry about, you know, the ponies having magic and she doesn't. That's what also makes the situation that Opaline is in interesting, and that it's not just simply, oh look, here's this super crazy powerful alicorn. Here's this alicorn that used to be super crazy powerful, but now she's compromised. I love that line because when she, you know, says it, she's like, she almost can't like bear to say it. It's like, my power is compromised. She doesn't want to admit that her power is not what it once was, that it's compromised. So that, in some ways, furthers her anger and her rage, if you will, is that they have magic and I don't. This is totally not fair. I deserve to have magic and I deserve to rule because I am an alicorn. Ugh! And that's why I think that she's unloading so heavily on Misty at the end of Have You Seen This Dragon? Because it's not really Misty that she's angry at. She's angry at the situation that it's like, that spark of dragon fire wasn't enough. I need more. I need more to get my powers back. Ugh! Because yeah, when she first sees the dragon fire, she's like, I haven't seen dragon fire in hundreds of moons. This is so great. This is wonderful. She's really happy. But of course, when she realizes that, yeah, it's not enough, I need more of it. In some ways, it's a double-edged sword. Getting a taste of what you once had, but then not being able to have all of it, in some ways is worse than not having any. And I think that's what she's going through in that particular scene. And unfortunately for Misty, she's the pony that Opaline decides to, you know, in some ways vent and dump all that anger on. So that frustrated, angry, envious side of Opaline is almost kind of like what's in like her almost like core in some ways. But I think on the outside is this very cool, calm, collected, almost Aristotic plotting supervillain that I think could be best summed up by, be grateful that you get to bask in my alicorn glory. Unlike Princess Twilight, she definitely looks at herself as being better because I am an alicorn. All magic comes from me. I'm amazing. You should just be grateful that I graced you with my presence. Unfortunately, I'm enjoying those sorts of things far too much. You know, Alicorn was definitely showing this. You know, she's trying to convince Sunny, who believes the opposite, that I don't want ponies to like me just because I'm an alicorn. No, you're an alicorn. You're special. You deserve to be praised, admired, feared. But Sunny, being Sunny, is like, no, I don't want that. So Opaline is basically trying to convince Sunny to not be Sunny and to be more like her, which is this, you know, basically selfish, vain pony that believes that just because she's an alicorn, she deserves all this praise and admiration. Given the history of Equestria, I can kind of understand why she thinks that. In Friendship is Magic, alicorns were basically made princesses and rulers of Equestria. The Journal of the Two Sisters says that, well, because they're all three pony kinds in one, they would be really good rulers of all the three pony kinds. But I have a feeling there may be more to it than that. This whole thing of Opaline saying that basically magic came from alicorns. Well, that doesn't quite appear to be true, because in Friendship is Magic and Hearth's Warming Eve, we see that the ponies clearly had magic before the ponies established Equestria. It was only after the creation of Equestria were the alicorn princesses created. So unless the alicorn somehow gave magic to the ponies before that happened, that doesn't appear to be true. At the same time, I feel like there might be some truth to this, that Opaline may not be entirely lying to us. But considering that she's a supervillain and lying to, well, just about every pony, yeah, it's entirely possible that, yeah, she is, and she's just simply, you know, angry and jealous that, oh, she tried to take over Equestria and failed, and then, you know, Twilight took most of her magic and hid it away somewhere or something, so, That's probably why Opaline attempted to steal all equestrian magic in the past. She believes that it belongs to the alicorns. It's rightfully theirs. They shouldn't be sharing it with the ponies. It's ours. So she reveals that and her true intentions in the Cutie Mark mix-up, where she's talking with Misty and basically saying, I shall take my rightful place and rule over Equestria and all magic, as alicorns were meant to. There's been 2 specials and 8 episodes of Make Your Mark, but we have yet to see Opaline actually leave this tower. And it makes me wonder, can she? She probably can, but it's just a simple problem of that, yeah, being an alicorn and being much bigger than a lot of the other ponies, just simply walking into town would attract a lot of unwanted attention, and despite being compromised, she still seems fairly formidable. But against all the ponies, she'd probably lose. And she knows it, so she knows better to do something like, let's just walk into town and alert every pony to my presence. That would be bad. She can probably leave the tower, but at the same time, there could be this possibility of that maybe she's like trapped there, that maybe she can't leave the tower, that maybe when the main 6 defeated her, they sort of like somehow imprisoned her in this tower somehow. And that would explain why she needs a pony like Misty to basically go out and do things for her. So all that kind of stuff was interesting. We'll probably go more into that in the future, because who knows? Maybe there's more messages from Twilight Sparkle that might help us, defeat Opaline and learn more about her. But I think from the first message, it's pretty clear that while they want to make the main 5 aware that Opaline is there, they don't want to be like, okay, here's this pony. Her name is Opaline. She's right over there. Go stop her. Because that would be boring and it would be a pretty short series. There's clearly a lot more that we and the main 5 have to learn about Opaline, so So what I think is next for Opaline is obviously more plotting, more planning, and maybe being a little bit more aggressive, because now that she's almost done with sort of like the plotting, almost like probing phase of, okay, which is the best way to go after the thing I want, that now she might be a little bit more aggressive towards it. And not to mention that she's getting a lot more frustrated with Misty of like, things are not working out. It's like, so she might take some more drastic, perhaps even more direct action, like an Alicond. Opaline may not have, left the tower or anything, but she did, like, essentially take the lead in this plan, and Misty was just basically just trying to, support her. Okay, just put some more pressure on Sunny while I try to turn her to the dark side. So we might be seeing more of that kind of a thing, and seeing Opaline taking more direct action, possibly even leaving the tower and, going and doing things herself. So, in some ways, this would sort of make a good video in itself, but at the same time, I think I'm just gonna mention it here. Sunny versus Opaline. Who would win, and is there going to be like a confrontation between them in the future? I think absolutely there's going to be some kind of confrontation between Opaline and Sunny at some point. I think Sunny is the only pony that could actually stand up to Opaline directly in some sort of like a physical confrontation. Who would win that confrontation? It's kind of difficult. I think this long story short is, I think Sunny may have the power because it was granted from the crystals directly, but Opaline has the experience. She knows how to use it. She knows how to do things that Sunny doesn't even know she can do at all. So in some ways, those two things kind of balance out. So for now, it might actually kind of end in a draw, which might be a reason why Opaline may not be taking such direct action at the moment, because she may not know if she can take on Sunny directly or not. So, So, overall, I really like Opaline. I love supervillains like this that are cunning and manipulative. And even though hasn't quite succeeded yet, she's shown signs that she actually does know how to plot and, be cunning and manipulative. And I really like that her motivation is not just simply, I have come to take over the world because I just want to take over the world. It's like, no, I want to take over the world because as an alicorn, it is rightfully mine. So I really like Opaline as a supervillain, as a character, so I look forward to seeing more of her, learning more about her, and seeing what evil plan she has in store next. This could be really bad for our poor heroes and Maritime Bay, so... But don't worry, ponies, the good news is that the magic of friendship will prevail in the end. So, I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thank you for commenting, liking, and subscribing, and until next time, this is Blue Star. Stay strong, and pony on. Blue Star out.